Hello everyone. So today we'll be going through the problem number 2 on beams. So the second problem says that there is a beam as shown in the figure. For this beam you need to find the end reactions and deflection at midspan. So what is told is end reactions and deflection at midspan. So we need to consider E is equal to 200 gigapascal and I is 4 into 10 raised to 6 mm raised to 4. So I is moment of inertia, E is Young's modulus. So in this figure you can see here what is given is there is a one beam and towards your left side it is fixed, completely fixed here, and when you move towards the right side from this fixed support to right side 4 meters distance there is one roller support, and from this roller support from 4 meters towards right side when you move there is another roller support. Now you can see here from this 0 distance to 4 meter there is 12 kilonewton per meter UDL which is applying here or applied here, and from this 4 meter to 8 meter, so total length of the beam is 8 meters. So from this 4 meter to 8 meters what is the UDL applied? 24 kilonewton per meter. So our work initially is to convert all the units into one single unit, convert all the units to meters and newton, sorry, kilonewton and meter, convert all these. So if it is mm raised to 4, convert it into meter raised to 4, and this is gigapascal, convert into kilonewton per meter square. So this is your first task. So here we have converted all the units into meter and kilonewton. So we have converted E in terms of kilonewton per meter square and I in terms of meter raised to 4. So that substitution will be easier if you convert like this. And next step is, or the first steps to start with this problem or any problem in the FEM is to draw the finite element model. So if you see the previous problem or this present problem, so what we can see is there is a fixed support here, and from fixed support 4 meters towards right side there is a roller support, and from this there another 4 meters towards right side there is another roller support. So the names what we can give is v1 theta 1 is a deflection and rotation. Similarly here v2 theta 2, v3 theta 3. So here what we are going to do is, in the first problem what we have seen is we have seen only there was one element. Now we have split this complete beam or this complete entire beam into two elements. So first element is between first node and second node, and second element is between second node and third node. So the distance or the length of the first element of a beam is 4 meter, and the distance of the second element of the beam is another 4 meter. So distance LE1 I will take, LE2 will be 4 meter and 4 meter. Clear? And next, so next second step is to find the elemental stiffness matrix. This is the equation which is known and which we have derived already. If you go through the videos you will get this. So in this what is required is EI is required, E is given, I is given, LE is also known. So you need to find out K1 and K2. Why K1 and K2? Because there are two elements here, element 1 and element 2. First what we will be doing is we will be finding out Ke1 here. So to find Ke1 what is required? E is known, I is known. What is LE for this? That is 4 meter. That is why we substitute EI by LE cube. So we will be getting 12.5, and that we will be writing it here. And wherever there is LE, now we can see here in Ke, that stiffness matrix equation, 12 is there, there is no LE. 6 into what is LE is 4. So 6 4s are 24. So here is minus 12 again, 6 4s are 24 here. Again you will be getting 6 4s are 24. Here it is square. So 4 square will be how much? Write down that, and that will be 16. So 16 4s are 64. So like this you need to write the K1, that, or else you can also call it as Ke1, that is elemental stiffness matrix of first element. Clear? And the names what we give for this rows and column is v1 theta 1, v2 theta 2, v1 theta 1, v2 theta 2, because this is between first node and the second node. Because of that we are writing v1 theta 1, v2 theta 2, v1 theta 1, v2 theta 2. Similarly we also find the elemental stiffness matrix of the second element. and there we write it as, you see, EI by LE raised to 3 will be same, that is 12.5. Next we write the stiffness matrix as V2 theta 2 V3 theta 3 V2 theta 2 V3 theta 3, because this second element is between second node and the third node. Second node starts with V2 theta 2, then the third node starts with V3 theta 3. This you can refer it above here. You can see here first element is V1 theta 1 V2 theta 2, and the second element is between node 1 and node 2 and node 3. So V2 theta 2 V3 theta 3. Now we'll come below. So after finding K2, so what is our next task is to go for the global stiffness matrix. So we need to find the global stiffness matrix where element 1 and element 2 will be combined. Means stiffness of the element 1 is combined with the stiffness of the element 2. So first what we do is we write the complete matrix of 4 into 4, that is this complete 4 into 4 matrix here, that is V1 theta 1 V2 theta 2. Similarly here also V1 theta 1 V2 theta 2. So this matrix whatever is there, this has to be added to the second matrix. You can see the values here itself. Here is V1 theta 1 V2 theta 2. I will write complete this matrix as it is. Clear? After that what I'll do is I need to club this matrix with this. So how to club? You can see here there is a V2 cross V2, means this value is nothing but V2 cross V2, row into column. Similarly here also there is V2, here also there is V2. So V2 cross V2 is this value, so V2 cross V2 is there here also, and V2 cross V2 is there here also. So these two has to be clubbed here, means added. So 12 plus 12 will be 24. Similarly, V2 cross theta 2 will be minus 24. V2 cross theta 2 will be 24. So how much this value will be? Minus 24 is here. And similarly, V2 cross theta 2 will be 24. So how much you will be getting here? You can see here V2 cross theta 2 will be 0, because 24 minus 24 will be 0. Similarly, you need to add the two matrices like this only, where this has to be written first. Next go on checking one by one. So V2 cross V2 will be here, that is common, which we have added already, and theta 2 cross V2 will be minus 24. Similarly check here, theta 2 cross V2 will be this much. So 24 minus 24, again this will be 0. Similarly, theta 2 cross theta 2 will be 64. Where is theta 2 cross theta 2 here? Theta 2 cross theta 2 is 64. So 64 plus 64 has to be written here. It is how much? It is 128. So you can see, and all other terms will be same. So these two have become 0, and here is 128. Theta 2 cross theta 2, 64 plus 64 will be 128. And only these four are common between first element and the second element, elemental stiffness matrix. All other will be written as it is. If there are no terms, then write it as 0. Here you will be not getting any terms, so write here as 0. Here you will be getting some terms, write it as it is. Other than these, only which are common has to be added. Clear? So you will be getting the global stiffness matrix now. So what is the next task after getting the global stiffness matrix is, you got the stiffness matrix. Next work is to get the displacemental vector. So to get the global stiffness displacement vector is, you already know this, V1 theta 1 V2 theta 2 V3 theta 3 is the complete stiffness global displacement vector. So previously if it is one element, then global stiffness vector, displacement vector will be V1 theta 1 V2 theta 2. Now it is global displacement vector. As there are three nodes, that is why you will be getting V1 theta 1 V2 theta 2 V3 theta 3. Next, so these are the things you need to find out. After that we go for the elemental load vector due to uniformly distributed load, because in the both the elements, that is element 1 and element 2 are having uniformly distributed load. That is why what we will be doing is PO, this is the formula which already we have derived. Substitute all the values. P naught is already known, that is minus 12 given for first element, and LE is also known, that is 4 meter. So substitute and find the for load vector, elemental load vector for first element. Similarly, substitute the values for the element 2 also, that is P naught and LE. P naught is minus 24 for the second element and LE is 4 meter. So write down this and get the elemental load vector. So V1 theta 1, V2 theta 2 for first element, V2 theta 2, V3 theta 3 is for the second element. Now again you need to global write the globalized or a global force vector. So we can see here. So V1 theta 1 is not repeating here, only V2 theta 2 is repeating here also, here also. So add V2 theta 2 theta 2. How much you are getting? Minus 20, 24 and minus 48. Add that 16 plus 16 and minus 32, because V2 theta 2 repeating here and here also. V3 theta 3 is not repeating. That is why. So if you get the global force vector, it will be this much. So this will be global force vector. So what is the, after getting all this, you need to go for the equilibrium equation, that is kq is equal to F. So what is K? You already found out, that is stiffness matrix. Next, that is, this is nothing but the global form, where you will be writing the combined form, where K is the global stiffness matrix, Q is the global displacement vector, and F is the global load vector. So write down this and apply the process of elimination method. Using elimination method, straight away we are going to just cancel some of the rows and columns. How to cancel? Already if you see the problem, V1 theta 1, V2 theta 3 are 0, because V1 theta 1 first node is fixed, second node, at the second node you are having the roller support. That is why there is a rotation in the, that is theta 2 is there, that is why V2 is 0, and in the third node also V3 is 0 and theta 3 is present. That is why if you cancel these respective rows, first row first column, second row second column, next third row third column, this one is fifth row fifth column. If you cancel, what is left out is this much. Then what you will be getting is, you will be getting the theta 2 and theta 3 values. So these are the rotation values of at node 2 and node 3. So this is what you need to find out. So what is asked in the question is to find the deflection at the midpoint. At the midpoint, what is zeta? Zeta is 0. So you need to find the deflection. So deflection is h into q. What is h? H is the Hermite shape function. Q is, what is q? Q is nothing but the global displacement vector. Now we will be finding out what is v. V is the shape functions which we have written here. So at midpoints, at the midspan, he has told to find the deflection. At midspan, zeta will be 0. So substitute all the zeros here. Wherever there is zeta, substitute 0. So what is v? V will be, you will be getting this much in terms of LE. So what is your work is to find the V value. So what is V? V is this. So what is unknown here? LE. So what is LE for first element? That is 4. So LE is 4 for first element, and next theta 1, theta 2, theta 1, V1, V2 are 0 for first element. Substitute all those in this Q. What is Q? Theta 1, V1 theta 1, V2 theta 2. What is Q here? QE for first element, V1 theta 1, V2 theta 2. So you'll be getting this one. Next, again you need to find out for the second element. Again this will be V2 theta 2, V3 theta 3. So these two are 0. Only left out is, which you have found out, is these two, that is theta 2 and theta 3. So you will be getting V2, that is displacement at the midspan. You will be getting this. After that, using this form, R is equal to KQ minus F, find out the reactions at the supports. So you'll be getting these values. Similarly, this is the final result of all the reactions. So this is the final result.